here's some perspective. That's 14 inches higher, and that's where this will be sitting in the truck. That's pretty dang high. So 14 inches for the bottom of the box is right there. I can pretty easily see that from kind of a weird slanted angle. So I'm probably going to see about mounting this actually in an angle kind of like that. So it's not diving down into the cargo spot where it can get hit and snag on things. I can still easily see it from being a foot and change higher than it is right now. So I think this is going to be my layout. Have a compressor one side, compressor one side, a light on the other, console in the center. So it's got a mark where I need to cut this, get a rough measurement of what I want to do for the other part, cut that. So I think I'm going to cut about right here, right back, and see how that fits up. This is perfectly about a ½ inch on the side, so I have some room. This is going to be my square edge. So let me get a bigger T-square. So important to note, I have about that much room left, the gap. So if somebody run cables down to anywhere, I'm not blocking myself by putting this plate in. So what I'll do now is I'll take this to the bandsaw, cut that down, figure out my angle here, figure out my angles, mark it, drill my holes, then come back, bend my angles, then I'll cut my excess off. Quick layout, bend mark, cut mark. Here we are. So I'm going to use, right now, kind of infamous 1024s for those 4 holes, and just do a unistep bit for these 2, get them in there. Once these 6 holes are drilled, I'll take a bend. Yep, pull unit bit. High speed still, high speed still. That'll roughly get me to the center. Use my big hole saw. Main card. So this is gonna be the interesting part. I got to bend this. Fortunately, I can go see my trick. I'll change the camera angle. So here we are, clamped in the plate. Let's see how this feels for pulling apart. I'm gonna push down. I'm used to pushing down, so I'm gonna keep pushing down. I'm also used to using steel, not aluminum. So I'm trying to figure out the way to get this thing going. We're good. So head on, this looks pretty dumb, but in reality, it's gonna be 14 inches higher, and you're realistically gonna be looking at like here. So it's gonna take up minimal room, have my 2 switches to turn off and on the compressor, turn on the lights, and there we go. Since we last left, I have wired up the compressor, so it's now running out the switch. On off switch, really simple. I cleaned up this panel. I found I need to order a light for this. I thought I had a little sticky light. I have no idea where they disappeared to. We're gonna make the divider here, this shelf and the divider here. 90% of the wiring is done. That's gonna be going this way, so I think it's safe for me to cinch these up, figure out where actual wire management is gonna be going. And also we need to figure out a mount for our jack way down there. Here's our wood we're going to use to make the shelves out of. I want to make it out of wood. I don't want any chance of arcing across it unless this wood is completely soaking wet. Only chances it'll actually cut short circuit through it. Top piece is on, cut a little bit extra out next to the weld gap, so it's still is flush in the middle. This is the front piece, which was originally the top piece. Slide it right in. Boom. So rounded edge, ridiculously actually pretty flush. 10/24 screw, like I've been talking about, worried about pulling straight through. I actually sink it to about halfway down the material. So there's flush on top. But then I'm still getting into the base material of the metal, holds it all in place. I'll do 3 on each side, and that should adequately hold it. If this was going to be permanently fixed, I would actually probably brad nail this corner and glue it, but if I do that, I can't get to the battery. The battery's supposed to last over 10 years, so I'm not too worried about this thing having to change out often. If I have to, I can switch this out. So since this is just wood, I'm actually going to drill and tap through the wood and the metal, at the same time, and then I'm just going to put my screw straight through it. Go inside. Okay, step 1. Push this wood down. This is just kind of ding and dent protection from the upcoming heavy jack. So I come up inside, fish this guy in. And then fish him in this way. For very specific reason. I have access to the screw and the jack. So I put my head into the corner of the box that hurt. I want this forward, not forward, up against the wall as possible. Forward, like so. That'll keep it from moving since it'll be up against the wood there and there. Let this be anchored like a standard factory jack would. Drill a hole in a piece of plate. Alright. Put it here. Put 2 pieces of square tube coming out from underneath. And then have a piece coming up with a gusset. And what I do then is I jack this up, lock it in. It gets pushed into the wood, which pretty evenly splices it across the full sheet metal, and gets pushed in here. Right now I have to worry about blowing through rivets because, well, it's only holding it up, but when on the truck, this aluminum will be directly on the deck of the camper, deck of the flatbed. So I'm thinking that piece of square tube, come up square tube and gusset over. That should be pretty damn sturdy. And really got resisting rotation. Just like that. I'll raise it up. And it'll work from there. So what I'm doing now is I let this come up higher than I was originally going to go so I can mark it on the back so I know where to cut. Here's our piece. I'll sand that out when I'm done with this stuff once I figure out what's going on. I'm going to take a piece here. First off, Just going to lay them up like that. Put a stitch weld here, flip it over. So let me stand it up. Have the shelf, the divider. This is just a piece of wood. I'm just going to let it sit there. Just let it sit. Doesn't matter because it's getting pushed down by the 20-ton jack. Speaking of which, 20-ton jack is actually in place. It's locked in really well. We had a little bit of a happy accident with it lining up perfectly with the ARB compressor. I'll take it. Toy store. There you go, guys. Bunch of rivets. Really sturdy. I'm liking that. That's my 16th inch skin. That's plenty thick for skins on the truck. Next thing is going to be the door frames. I'm going to start on this side, it's door frame. I'm going to make it custom. Well, of course, it's all custom, right? I'm going to make it for each side. Measure it out. I'm going to miter the edges. And it's basically going to be a piece of angle. If you look straight down and come here, this way, both sides. And the door itself is going to be a negative of that, so they overlap. And that's going to be my door. Cut them all 90 degrees, then come back and cut my 45 sometime. Here's my piece of my door frame. Top, bottom, front, back. Okay. Why am I bothering to lay this out like this? People make mistakes all the time. Here, I need to figure out my actual 45s cuts are gonna be. I want to save the corner. This corner is being saved, so I gotta cut away from that. So I'm gonna measure it from the back side. I'm gonna just put a X over the corners so I can cut out. So now that corner's been cut out. So that's my frame right there. I'll take the sander, take it to the belt sander cleanup, and then I'll start welding it up. Fresh off the belt sander, cleaned up the back. I did a decent job at hiding the fact that I totally obliterated the corners by just, rounding. That's what I meant to do, right? Make a nice, good radiused corner that still warms the touch even. So I did make a mistake. I somehow lost an inch. It's easy enough to do. I had to put a fuller plate miner to go from this 1/8 inch to here, because there's got to be something in the back to seal it. I'll just make that a little bit wider, and that should accommodate that. And I got from the inside, on the bottom justify this, I have a gap right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to put a piece of angle here, flange up and rivet down and then over. And that way. Inside seam. Here's my gap. Here's my plate. I'll weld this to the back of the door jamb. I'll fill it in. I'll do it on the inside, obviously, but this is showing the overlap.